You're good.
Dexter Morgan, fictional serial killer, Showtime series Dexter, has a single talent in life. His talent can be described as catching bad guys. Those of you who've seen this show, you'll understand why I'm going to leave it at that. His talent screams out at him, "Use me!" What good am I sitting here doing nothing? His family, his friends, and his late father get in his way though. I have a similar problem. I'm limited to my space, my funds, and really an ultimate goal. Without these things, I hear those same cries. I'm a Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. The talent simply must be used. The talent is a special natural ability or aptitude. It cannot be ignored. It's human nature to want to create. And ever since we started here on this planet, this has brought around a significant change to our society. The Industrial Revolution was the start of exponential growth that has led us to where we are today. This growth was sustained by man and his talent. A collective effort of all doing what we do best is the ultimate reason for the success of humanity. A sedentary lifestyle, merely living for the sake of living, really helps no one, especially yourself. Our talents, they need to be used. They've been asking to be used for an eternity. Without our talents, who are we? They enrich our lifestyles, define our conversations, they employ our idle hands. The talent speaks out from each individual. I do not call myself an artist, but the shapes, the expressions, the emotions that come from a man's talent can easily be described as art. I know there are no more talents than there are humans in the world, and therefore each talent creates something unique from each individual. If I had time, I would query the audience tonight. I'm sure we'd all have something interesting to share. The question I am more interested about is, how many of us actually use our talents? For this is a question that I cannot raise my hand for. My talent is not catching bad guys. My talent is a desire to create, an attention to detail, and the ultimate application of that to the medium of wood. As Jerry Seinfeld, a mentor of mine, said, in the junior mint, wood is good. I've shared that same philosophy for nearly a decade. Grade 9 brought about a change in high schools, a woodshop class that was full, 3 days in home ec, although that's not the topic of this speech. And finally shop 9, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Larry Colby, another mentor, challenged me to prove to him that I had those special abilities, those talents. Ever since then, I haven't looked back. I recognize that this talent was born in high school and it was nurtured at home. My parents, they wholeheartedly supported this growth, although I guess they did have a bit of a vested interest in it, as my last project did make my mother cry. She said, it's just so beautiful, John. You know, when you hear that, it makes it all worthwhile. My original goal was to make woodworking my career. I instead joined into the field of engineering. That was a good choice, as my job would become my hobby, and it's not a really good mix. My current future aspiration is to return to the basics, creating simple, fine, detailed joinery by hand. I hope I've qualified myself as an expert on being talented. Although almost daily, I feel there's something missing from my life. However, I can't say that I'm one who uses this talent. The sad part is I know what that missing is, that something. It's that fulfilling that desire to enrich my lifestyle, to grow, to change, and to incorporate that into society. When I lived in Abbotsford, there's a numerous amount of projects, an unlimited to-do list, and many available resources that would cause my talent to very rarely tap on my shoulder, say hello, and remind me that it does in fact exist and it does in fact contribute to society. Ever since my most recent move to Nelson here, that flame more or less got snuffed out. I hear time and time again, use me, or I just sit here doing nothing. As our talents define our hobbies, We need to be explored in our time off. It's hard for me to say this, but when Friday comes around, in which, or since I can remember, is followed by Saturday and then Sunday, this weight hops onto my shoulders and it drags me down. This weight is filled with this pressure to fill up my time. What can I do with myself? One project can I drag out for 2 whole days? So I sit there, I've got the tools there, I've got the time, I've got this bloody talent too. It's really sad that I'm leaving. Ultimately though, time does get in the way, life does get in the way. Life has an amazing ability to convince us that what we're doing is the right thing to do at the time. And our talents, they can just sit on the side there for one. When we ignore that voice that says, "Use me," nobody benefits. When we ignore that voice that says, "Why do I just sit here doing nothing?" Still nobody benefits. Listening to that voice, listening to that is a talent that I have not yet mastered, although it is something that I am continuing to work on. I'm sure it will never go away. Dexter Morgan and I, we both feel incomplete when our special natural ability or aptitude sits dormant. However, though, I live in reality and he does not. So he has a much easier time fulfilling his desires. I'm certain that we are not alone in feeling the demands that our talents put forth in us on a regular basis. My current lifestyle requires that I listen yet not respond to that voice. Patience is something I am currently working on and continue to exercise. I'm sure that those voices will continue to talk to me. And as I sit here, and if I'm not letting my voices become silenced, giving them that opportunity to be silenced, I will certainly hear time and time again, "Use me! What good am I sitting here doing nothing?" Thank you.